Hello, welcome to the Sovereign Magazine Show, a transformational experience where conscious conversations meet embodied wisdom. Each episode invites visionary healers, thought leaders, and change makers to share their journeys of awakening, offering listeners practical tools and soul stirring insights to reclaim their inner authority. We have Renee Merkle back today with the New Earth Consciousness series. And today we are talking about the matrix unraveling, recognizing old paradigm programming, and we're watching it collapse before our very eyes. So why don't you introduce yourself, Rennie? And I can't wait to talk about this.
Hello, so I am Rennie. It's nice to be here once more. Because 3D asks us to have titles, I had to throw one together. It only kind of captures what I do, but I am a multidimensional channel. I am like a satellite radio when it comes to channeling. Source first and foremost, many different galactic nations, light councils, Gaia, my Cherokee and Pawnee ancestors, our loved ones on the other side. Just let me know what frequency you want to tap into, and we'll be on our way. I'm also a quantum new earth mentor and psychic medium, healer, activator, all those things, that Akashic Records reader, and BQH practitioner. And I help people step into the truth of who they are, um, step into their power, step into their soul mission. Um, I was in corporate and my guides pushed me out of corporate into my soul mission. And so here we are. And yeah, what a time to be here.
Okay. I mean, right? What a time. Okay, so for those, I always like to define things for those who are like, what? The Matrix? What? Paradigms collapsing? Why don't we share a little bit about what the Matrix is and perhaps how it shows up in our daily lives?
Okay. So the Matrix is basically all of the programming, conditioning, imprinting, templating, patterning that we have that keeps us within the structure. You can think of the corporate structure, how maybe you were pushed to go to college right out of high school, get a degree, go into corporate, get that um, good job, climb the ladder, and work your way up until you retire, and then maybe you can have some fun. That's part of it. Um, and it's just all of these ways that we've been suppressed and repressed and oppressed, and depending on your ancestry, it may be harder than some others.
Yeah.
And we have the structures of our governments. We have the structures that, kind of make the world go round, the structures around money. Um, all of these things are ways in which we have been held in a way to, in a lot of ways, be controlled,
Yeah.
um, to, know our place. If you grew up on the wrong side of the tracks, you weren't expected to make much out of yourself. Um, I know growing up, we didn't have a lot of money at all, um, very much in poverty, and nobody expected me to go to college. Nobody expected me to be successful, but that wasn't the path I was going to choose for myself. So I had already kind of made my way out, but I did follow that structure of going to college, getting the degree, going into corporate, because that was the path that was laid out, doing what's expected of you. And so, yes, does that answer?
It does. It does. And one thing I wanted to add, I was like, oh, I hope she says this one, is society's definition of feminine and masculine. That's
Yes.
also another like structure. And the reason I say that is we are seeing quite explicitly right now in the world how greed and power are and ego are very much present in
Hmm.
how this world is collectively gathering, let's say.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so, as we look at the shifting of this matrix and paradigms falling, I like to always tap into you so many times when I am scared. I remember what you told me, and I'm like, okay, Rennie's right here with me because a lot of this can be very scary. You've seen the other side and how beautiful it is. However, it's a slow thing and it's
Yes.
not going to happen super quickly. And so, as we are watching these paradigms collapse, what would you like to share with people who are like, okay, well, I see that things are, collapsing, but how is this like, what's going to happen? And what is it
Yeah.
going to look like? And how bad is it going to get?
Yes. Yes. So 8 billion people are ascending. A planet is ascending. February 20th, 2026, at 8:54 a.m., when Saturn and Neptune conjunct 0 degrees in Aries, the new Earth was born. We are here. And I was joking with my guides because I was driving down to the Conscious Life Expo from the Bay Area down to LA. And I was driving through Los Baños at the exact moment the new Earth was born. And they think they're so funny.
That is quite
Uh,
funny.
and by the time it was 8:55, I was in Firebra, which is the next town
Hmm.
after. You know how the kids are saying bra instead of bro now. So I was like, oh,
Hmm.
you made me drive through the Firebra.
Hmm.
So I was being playful with them too. And I was like, okay, so my mission has been to lead the ascension of humanity and Earth. We're here. Now what? Because, oh, is my mission over? Because here we are. And they were like, no, of course, you know that. And I knew that my mission's not over. But we've been through this recalibration period for the last month. Like, I got a sinus and respiratory infection, followed by sinus migraines, with the Schumann resonance being extremely active right now. And basically knocked on my ass for 3 weeks. Like, not able to do much of anything. And I've heard this from so many people,
Hmm.
so many light leaders, so many people who are just like, I've been sick, I've had these things going on where I haven't been able to like be productive in life. And it's all because we have all been going through this recalibration period. We now operate in the new Earth template. The blueprint has been laid. We're integrating that blueprint. We are being upgraded in our systems to hold the light codes of the new Earth. And that takes a period of acclimation because it's not like a light switch. You turn it on and here we are. If I could snap my fingers and everything be where it's going, oh my God, I would have done it all like as soon as it was in my awareness when I was a little tiny girl. Um, but it doesn't work that way because there are 8 billion people with free will on this planet.
Hmm.
And it does get so frustrating sometimes that it is taking so long. Um, we have now birthed the new Earth. And then from my guidance, they started in 2021 telling me that we were having, uh, and they always used it as a metaphor of giving birth. So we were on our way to the hospital, just started having contractions in 2021. February 20th, we gave the birth. But anyone who's given birth knows that that's not it. There's a recovery period. There's a time where we're getting to know one another. We're getting to know our new roles. We're getting to know how to grow into that next level. And so that's where we are right now. We're moving through all of this. Now, when things are changing so fast, we tend to shrink back into what's familiar, what we know, because it's better than what we don't know, because that's what we've been told. The unknown is scary. You don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be horrible because we're taught worst case scenario, have it in your mind. So we can daydream all day long about the 5 billion horrible things that could happen. But why not use that time to create the best case scenarios? That's more productive. Our subconscious can't tell the difference between reality and our imagination. And so if you're going to use all that energy, use it for something that you would actually like to create rather than what you do not want to create, because we are co-creating with the universe. And so as much as you want to go back to the way things were and shrink into what's familiar, lean into the growth, lean into the frequencies that are coming in. They are so much higher frequency. And what we're seeing, the collapsing of the matrix, it's already happened in the quantum. We're just seeing it happen in physicality now. And so, yes, it's scary to see that there are wars, that there is all of this chaos happening, especially in the United States right now. But it's also showing us what we don't want. We're at an inflection point. So, what is it that we would like to create now? Because if you think back, let's say Nazi Germany, everything was falling apart, everything was scary. Horrible, horrible, horrible things happened. Absolutely. Look at Germany now. They've overcome,
Yeah.
and we will too.
Yeah.
And also, all of this lower vibrational energies, all of these systems that have been held in place, the power over others, you're seeing people come to trial for abuse. And I know the algorithm, so I cannot say what type of abuse, but you know what I'm talking about. There are files about it. All of these things are starting to come to the light because they cannot be sustained in the new earth frequencies. It's not going to happen overnight. I wish that it would, but it's not going to. Our job is to continue to live into the joy, the happiness, the love, the life that we would like for ourselves, because that brings that frequency in. Not only does it raise our own frequency to focus on what we love and enjoy, but it also raises the frequency of the collective and the planet. The faster we raise that frequency, the faster we move into the beautifulness that is coming.
Mm, I can't wait. Oh my goodness. Let me just tell you, between the eclipses and all of this Saturn to Aries stuff, I'm just like, woo! Like it's just been quite a ride, right?
Yes, and Mercury goes direct on
Yes.
Friday. Today we
Yeah.
have the new moon in Pisces on the cusp of Aries, and then we have the spring equinox on Friday. Then we have no retrogrades until early May. So everyone's going to be like, oh, this feels like a fresh breath of air because we have been through the ringer.
hmm Yeah. I mean, it has been, it's so funny. My husband said to me the other day, I was really hoping 2026 would be better, but it has really started out to be a really awful year.
Yeah.
And, I really want to tap back into what we can do individually to work on our old programming because
Hmm.
each of us, we're in this world, so we're constantly working on things all the time, but there are always people who are like, Programming, what programming? We're all programmed with different things. I mean, I can just give you one thing, like I'm programmed to avoid, and avoidance is easy for me. And so sometimes that means in order to avoid, I cut people out of my life because I don't want to deal with that thing, right? That's a program
Yeah,
thing. I
absolutely.
also have been programmed to be a people pleaser. That I've had to work on as well. So there's all these things that we are programmed with. And as we work on each of them, it ripples out into the world. Like you said, like my daughter, people pleasing is not in her her tool chest at all. She's going to do exactly what she wants, which I love. But it ripples not only down to generations below us, but people we come in contact with, right? And so how does one start taking steps to unraveling their own conditioning?
Yes. People can do it on their own. They can come work with me. I'm an expert at this. Um, and so there are different ways that we can do this. Recognizing our patterns is the first step. Um, I'll talk about, okay, so back in the day, because of all the trauma that I had been through, um, I was codependent in my early 20s. And that was some hard energy to move through. But recognizing that, I've always been very independent myself. Um, so codependency didn't really, it was really headbutting my independence, um, and my drive. Um, but noticing, like, okay, recognizing, okay, yeah, I have codependency. Reading the book Codependency No More helped. Actually, I'm as soon as something comes into my awareness, I can move it in about 2 seconds. So for me, it's very easy, but I've been at this my entire life. My gifts have been open my entire life. I've been working through all of this energy my entire life. So it gets easier as you do it. So when you're first starting out, it might be a little bit intimidating, but when you dedicate yourself to becoming the best version of yourself, to not know that you don't have to live in the pain, that you don't have to suffer, that you don't have to be stuck in survival, that you don't have to be stuck in the patterns that keep you from being your authentic self in this world, the energy starts to move. When you're no longer a victim, when you're no longer giving your power away, when you stop people pleasing, all of this really allows you to step into your sovereignty.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so you can journal if you notice a pattern. If you're holding an emotion in your body, I've been working with a lot of my clients around shame recently, a lot of shame up in the energetic field right now. And so there are two exercises that they have been getting. One is to journal out everything that they're ashamed of until there's nothing left to write. Once you're done writing, you take that paper, you burn it safely, and you can flush the ashes. Whether it's shame, guilt, fear, whatever it is, just journal about it. The pen to paper transfers the energy out of your physicality and out of your energetic field onto the paper. You transfer the energy. The other piece is mirror work. So a lot of people are having energies around self-love, not loving themselves, not feeling lovable. Maybe it's the worthiness piece. Maybe it's their value, all of that energy. And it can be anything, but this is what they've been coming through with is stand in front of the mirror. Tell yourself everything that you need to hear. Hearing it in your own voice, in your own eyes, speaking back to yourself, it starts to move the energy and you start to step into your power. And if you have body issues, because hello, If it doesn't matter if you're in America or not, women have been held to a standard of beauty that is unattainable rather than being in the knowing that you are naturally beautiful as you are, that you are beautiful inside and out, just as you are. You can go do enhancements, whatever you'd like to do, but honoring yourself as you are is so powerful. Telling yourself, I am beautiful, I am loved, I am worthy, I love myself. Stand in front of the mirror naked. Tell yourself all of the parts of your body that you love. Thank you, legs, for getting me from point A to point B. Thank you, arms, for lifting and carrying. Back, thank you for being my support system, for carrying me forward. All of these things help to bring that energy into our being where we can own it. Um, Let me see where else they want to take this. Um, okay, so they also want to talk about this because this also has been coming up. Um, so I used to be the queen of putting things off, holding myself back, having reasons that I could not move forward on something, starting my business. Well, all these things have to be in place. Everything has to line up. Everything has to be perfect. I have to have all these certifications. I have to have my business plan and all of every excuse you can think of as to why I couldn't get started on it. And one day, one of my old spiritual teachers said, because I was like, oh, I can't move forward on whatever it was because, and I started going into whatever the story was. And she was like, stop. Everything after but is a lie. And I was like, holy shit, she's right. And it cleared just like that. As soon as my system knew that those stories weren't mine, I stopped holding myself back.
Mm.
Because the truth is, we don't have to be perfect. Perfect doesn't exist. Messy action steps lay out the path. And like this business was started just from a seed thought of seeing people walking their dogs in the middle of the day, or not middle of the day. We were on our way to the train station to go to corporate office and just thinking, I want to be able to walk my dogs anytime I want. Here we are, over 6 years later. I have my own business. I have that time freedom that I was telling the universe, not realizing that I was saying I want freedom. But look at how everything has been laid out. And if I can do it, you can do it. There's no difference in us. We are all one. What happens to one happens to all. And we are all here with our unique soul and spiritual gifts. There's no other one of us in this universe. There's no comparison. There is no competition. The world needs your light. Own it. Be that light. Shine for others. Because you give yourself and others permission to stand in their light when you do it.
Mm, I love that so much because when we stand in our authenticity and get rid of the illusions, we are able to collectively decondition all the things that we have been taught. As you can see, Rennie is incredibly magical. So if you want to work with her, she's in our community, community.sovereign-magazine.com. She writes a column every single full moon, new moon. She's on our podcast. Like there's no shortage of Rennie in our
Yes.
community. And we're actually going to be starting back up our lives again on Instagram. So if you're going to want a sort of download about what's going on, you can catch us there as well. So all her details are in the show notes. You definitely need to work with her if you've got some deconditioning that you want to go through and help as you ascend into this new earth consciousness, because sometimes you need that little help. Um,
Yes.
If you haven't liked, shared, subscribed, commented below, it helps us in the algorithm. So definitely do that as well. And we're going to be coming back for more. So the next episode is going to be about identity, death, and soul rebirth. So there's going to be more from Rennie. So definitely hit that subscribe button so
Yes.
that you get the next episode.
And I have a whole program for that one.
Yes, yes, I know you have no shortage of amazing things in this world. All right. Thank you so much for being
Thank
here
you.
today.